What's good, YouTube? And welcome to this timely interaction because Megatin reveals are crazy today. Last night, GGYGO, just 15 hours ago, said, "This is the time to buy cards. Make sure to pick things up before everything goes back up." And as market man, I had to add a little bit of an asterisk. Megatins are around the corner and Bonanza's in the distance. Consider these two sets when buying into cards, but yes, deals are pretty wild right now. And then today, a huge look into the Megatins with Konami feeling a bit like them old selves. Not, oh, I'm gonna pluck Droplet out here and Zeus out there and throw them in later products, short print them in here. Like, no, everything feels like it is presented on the table. Triple Tactics Thrust, Diabell Star, even though she's in Bonanza, they're doing a pretty good job with the hits. Quim, Big Welcome Labyrinth, you've got Chaos Angel, you've got Dispater, you've got, SP Little Knight being the big one, and the Wanted package, meaning that ban list over in August might not do the heavy lifting you necessarily want, because Konami might even be selling these again, or it could be a future ban list. Konami seems to have learned a bit of a lesson of hitting things too soon after giving them to everybody. Sometimes we take a list or two to get there, so it might feel like this ban list is shaping up even more, pure speculation, to go after older extra deck monsters like Beatrice and Apollosa. Again, you never know what Konami's going to do with the ban list, but with no regional off-season at all, people are going to be buying into cards. Not everybody's going to take a break till that ban list, and this is a really good look at a product to get people excited as long as the short prints versus the ratios aren't horrendous. Now, a lot of people are crying about this 400 card set list. I'm actually going to say, hey, 50 of these cards seem to be targeted as quarter century secret rares for the slot, and then a ton of those are also going to be commons. Look at how many sets are in here also. Yes, there will be filler, there will be a good amount. What it really comes down to is Konami going to learn their lesson from short printing. Also, let's go over some current prices for that snapshot of that moment where things went wild. Triple Tactic Thrust was at a $50 market price for both the OG Secret Rare and that short printed reprint Ultra Rare, so they've already shorted it once. Quim was at $56 and going up, and look at the panic selling going on right now. $35, $35, $36 when it was selling for quite a bit more just a couple days ago. The 50s to 60s on it. Bestial Dispater was actually down a good amount, but still a $25 Ultra is pretty expensive, already down towards 18 as people realize, the show is over. Even if people need them for a couple regionals, they're not going to be buying in. I was looking at Chaos Angel, and yeah, down towards 30 already, and the sales are happening on it at least, versus that $42 market price. SP Little Knight, I actually have not looked at what it's gone down to yet. It was already down to 90 as people anticipated. Maybe a lot of people taking a break after the WCQ. 60 to 65. Let's see where it was selling before this. Yep, straight at 90. Now, another cool thing about the set is the altar arts. They're a bit more iconic than the ones that dropped in past Megatins, and they'll be in 25th anniversary rarity, giving some longevity to the 10s for collecting purposes, but I'm going to put an asterisk by that. You have the Red Eyes altar art, which is cool, the Dark Magician Girl, which is insanely popular in Japan. They might even buy into our market a little bit at first, as they did with the other Dark Magician Girl altar art, but look at the 25th promo you got with the last 10. None of them are holding up too hot or propping up the 10's values, and they fell out completely in terms of pricing, but Konami was greedier with their reprint choices in these 10s. Now, for the 2022 10s, this would have been a smash home run if not for the top end short printing. All the altar arts, that's fine to short print. In fact, they were the shortest in the set, the Blue Eyes, the Dark Magician Girl, the Red Eyes, but people found this product so toxic because this was short. Ash, I think, was one of the only ones not. Forbidden Droplet was short. You had the Red Eyes, Dark Dragoon short, the Crossout short. I believe DPE was short, Lightning Storm short. Just so much of this top end was half printed, which is shorter than the rest, and the cards were not appearing as often, so these terrible pull rates made them not worth opening. People kind of got on to Yeah, it doesn't feel good to open these tins, and they fell out despite the star-studded cast of cards in Prismatic Secret Rare, and then you have the 2021 tins, which are just one of the worst modern ones. This is why it feels like Konami's having an identity crisis with what their flagship product is. If you noticed, this is 3 years in a row of failures, and yes, they are failures by all means. This is, a 12-pack of the tins, a case of the tins, and at around 10 something a piece versus a $22 MSRP, and you're paying to ship it out. Sellers are taking big losses just to get rid of these out of inventory. And then you have the 10 of Lost Memories, which was a success by them injecting Dark Dragoon and then using a ban list to twist it. If you might remember, it actually didn't start out as a success of a card, but that's what sold these and managed to prop it up. But the true, real successful 10 was the 2019 one. You have the Kazuki Takahashi arts, which we won't really get any of those again unless he has some paperwork that was left over to give to Konami. It's really a shame, but this is how you do it. They also had 3 meta-impacting promos and then a great set list inside for the time, and that's why the Gold Sark 10 stand the test of time. They even got re-waved a bit. When I feel it comes to these 10s, what has to happen for it to be a success? Don't short print, Konami. Your ratios are already going to be pretty expanded with that set. Just let things be natural pull rates. I know that's very hard to do. These are probably already printed, but hopefully they've listened to enough ranting and actually looked at their R&D department and then also looked at what's going to be in these 10s for everybody and said, yeah, maybe that's why such a banger of the 10s as the 2022 ones ended up being a flop. What do you all think of the set list reveals so far? I'm actually going to read them all off real quick for the driving crew. We have limiter removal and tuning in their alter arts. We have Kashtira Riseheart, Tear Lament Kashtira, Granganol, you have Kashtira Theosis, you have Triple Tactic Thrust, you have Big Welcome Labyrinth, Quim, Dispater, you do have Lulu Lilith, I believe, Chaos Angel, Revolution Synchron, the good old Chimera Fusion, Crimson Dragon, Unchained Link, you have Dark Corridor, which has been kind of a stonk in its own, and people have speculated on being good. I'm Seti is here, so you do have confirmation on the Horus stuff. You have Arias, you have the Anti-Zeus Typhon, SP Little Knight, and the Wanted poster confirmed to be in the set. And then we do know they're going to be going after even more sets in here that we actually do want some things out of. Wild Survivors, Amazing Defenders, even if some of those have passed their time in terms of relevance, I still think some of those reprints would be really amazing to see. Maze of Memories, the OG one, will also be making an appearance, which is interesting because that's a world premiere set. So every single year they kind of break a couple of rules with the 10s, and this year I believe that'll be more towards the alter arts and the 25ths, but it will be interesting to see how the set list continues to go up versus what is already revealed here, because they've led with a strong foot, and I believe their next ones will probably be like, oh, look at this Dark Magician Girl. I don't know what else they have in the bag to really get people hyped, but this is a very good lead for these 10s. I do think they look decent, even though Twitter's going to groan about Yugi and Kaiba on a 10 again. And that, again, goes with the Pride and Unity theme of the 25ths, which is actually appropriate here. I'm going to say my final thoughts are, I feel like Konami can't resist shorting, but if they don't, this is probably back to being a flagship product and a huge success. If they do short print with the already terrible ratios, they're shooting themselves in the foot once again, and I don't know how chased after these 10s will actually be if people see terrible ratios. So Konami, ball's in your court. You kind of done it the last few years when previously you hadn't been, and hopefully you've actually looked at the footprint of what made your products good, and this shows that you're having a great start with that, not pulling out all these cards to sell other products, even Diabellstar. I really am hoping they got their head straight on this one, and that is a lot of hope for Konami, but this does give me hope.